He occasionally wanted me to finish on her stomach or, inside and, yeah. Throughout these encounters, what did you observe Mr. Combs doing? He was always sitting in the corner, self-pleasuring. And then occasionally he would tell me to step off and back up because he was going to get some. And then he would start having intimate relations with her, and I would be sitting off in the corner watching. What did Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs usually do after you ejaculated on her? They would get up and go inside of wherever the bedroom was inside the hotel room. And generally, what happened next? I'd be sitting in that room for hours, just sitting there. And then what do you remember happening? Sometimes they would come out and tell me, okay, you can go. And other times they would come out and ask me if I'm ready to go again. About how long did each of these encounters with Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura usually last? Could be anywhere from an hour to 10 hours.
10 hours?
10 hours. So this is like a huge point for the prosecutors, is that these freak-offs would last multiple days. And that for Cassie, for years of her life, it would potentially feel like half of her week is in this horrendous freak-off situation. How many times, if any, did you pretend to finish, but you actually did not? I think this was on our second go-around. He told me to make sure that I finish inside of her this time, and I went to go, but I couldn't do it. I was in my head or whatever the problem was, but I couldn't finish. And so I just pretended to do it, and they got up, they went into the room, and then Sean Combs came out of the room and he asked me, he said, yo, are you sure you finished? And I said, yeah, I'm positive. And he was like, you sure? And I said, yes. And so they went back into the room, and yeah, that was that. But yeah, they definitely knew. This is the part that has been all over the headlines that I have seen, is the prosecutors ask, what, if any, bodily fluids other than ejaculate do you remember there being in these rooms? The witness responds, so Cassie was actually the one that asked me to urinate on her. They had just come out of the room and she asked me if I had ever done that before, and I said no. And she told me to do it, and apparently I was doing it wrong because they both stopped me and told me that I was supposed to let a little out at a time and not go full, take a leak on her. That was just one time that they asked me to do that. What was Mr. Combs doing when you urinated on Miss Ventura? He was self-pleasuring. They also bring up the alleged recording of freak-offs saying, who, if anyone, recorded your encounters with Miss Ventura? Sean Combs. About how many times do you remember Mr. Combs recording you and Miss Ventura during these sexual encounters? Again, I would be estimating, but once or twice. And what do you remember Mr. Combs using to record these encounters? I do believe a cell phone and a camcorder device.
So when he was saying all of this, did you see what Diddy was doing in court?
Yes. Okay. So this is the very interesting thing. I think, I feel like prior to, it really started during opening statements. Diddy just morphed into a marble statue. Everything became so frozen to the point where it just felt very unnatural. I just don't see many people have that level of stillness inside of them.
Yeah. So it
feels intentional because it doesn't even feel still. It feels rigid.
Yeah.
Right. So it feels intentional. But during these two witness testimonies, we did notice something. So my researchers and I were like, okay, are we noticing the same thing? Because it's so interesting. I feel like every time anybody else is talking, or the judge is talking, the attorneys are talking, they're arguing, they're going back and forth on things, they're submitting applications, he is rigid, he's statuesque, he's frozen.